I've been sitting here for a while trying to think about what kind of YouTube video I want to make this week because I'm going to Poland tomorrow for a Trumpet Mania Trumpet Festival, and I'm pretty excited. I'm a guest artist. I'm going to play the Leopold Mozart, the Tartini, those two trumpet concertos, and then Prayer of St. Gregory. So I've got essentially right now to make a video. And I was trying to put together a student's lesson that we had this breakthrough that was very cool, and I wanted to share that. I could also have made a video where I talk about the different mouthpieces I have, or there's other sort of teaching videos about intonation, or I don't know, just all sorts of different things. And you could go in all sorts of different directions, but as I keep thinking about it, there's just really one topic that I feel like I want to talk about right now. So I'm just going to speak from the heart and share this. And it's something that I've gained clarity on from my audition that I had with the Philadelphia Orchestra for the principal audition. I did not win this audition, but I was in the finals for it. And I felt very good about my preparation. I felt very prepared. I felt confident that not only did I feel prepared, I was confident that I was going to be able to play the way I prepared in the audition. And that ended up happening for me. And I think one of the reasons why I was able to play with that kind of confidence and that kind of consistency is the way that I had organized my practice led to me seeing evidence that I could do it when it mattered. I had had so much evidence, so much success in my practice sessions playing the way I wanted to, that even when some doubts creeped in the audition, the day before, I was like, well, I've sounded so good in my practice sessions, but what if the prelim round is the one time that I completely blow it? So I had these doubts, but I kept directing my thoughts toward, well, I've got evidence that that's not the case. And it's just stuck with me. And I've started to talk more that way with clients since I've been back, that what we want to do with our organization is allow ourselves to have evidence that the kind of player we are growing to be and that we want to be is possible, or that we have evidence that it's happening. And that might seem obvious, but I don't think most people are trying to practice with that kind of clarity to begin with about what it is even that we want. What am I aiming at? I think people just get in the practice room and they just start playing and they hope that things will get better. And sometimes they do, but I don't know if everybody is developing in the way they want to develop. So even just getting clarity, what do I want? What do I want an audience to think about when I play? And those will become sort of principles or values about your playing that you would want to then develop. The other part of it, though, is that if you're not really practicing in an organized manner, you're probably going to have a hard time structuring something that allows you to play the way you want to be playing right now, where you don't have to wait to be the player you want. You don't have to wait to be the player that would have those qualities that an audience member would hear, right? So let's say, for example, you want to be somebody who has a great upper register. And so a lot of people, they'll just start playing in the upper register and they'll bash their face in and they'll get fatigued and they'll play it with not great habits. And then they struggle to play in the upper register and it doesn't get better. And then they think, well, I just can't play in the upper register, or that's not good for me, or I'm unable to do this, or I'm just not one of those natural high note players. But I think if we thought about an upper register development from the perspective of, well, where can I play with good habits? And then how over time could I make it a little bit harder so that I could take those good habits and begin applying them to higher and higher notes, and just explore making sure that I'm not just throwing whatever at it, but I'm actually being aware of maybe what it is that causes healthy trumpet playing and applying that to the upper register. Now, maybe you're stuck. Maybe you feel like you're someone who's stuck and you need to get some outside feedback to get that spark going. But even then, it takes the kind of person to want to value, I'm going to try to do it the right way. And I think that is one of the reasons I was successful in Philly is I didn't just want to play well, I wanted to play like me. So I had to define what is me. And I've talked about this before, but I had some very clear ideas of what it meant to be me. And then I established a system where certain things I started quite slow and I played like me from the very beginning of the process. So right from, even if it's slow, I'm not playing it at full tempo. So let's say something like Pines of Rome first movement. I was starting very slow. So even though I wasn't playing it at the goal tempo, and fast, I was still playing it with great habits the way I wanted to, just slow. And for me, that's a better trade-off. I would rather say I could play it slow with great habits and I'll slowly work towards playing it at my performance tempo with great habits, rather than I'm just gonna start playing it at tempo and just see what happens. And so it's brought me to this idea, I'm giving you some context, but it's brought me to this idea that I wanted to share, which is the goal of any preparation for literally anything you're gonna do is to provide evidence that you can do the thing you want. And so ideally the thing you're asking yourself to do is within your skill level, your skill range, right? Somebody who is auditioning for the first time as maybe a freshman in school who's got some fundamental things that they need to work out might not have as successful of an experience working up a 56 excerpt audition list like I did, because my fundamentals are more developed. So that's more where the challenge is. But if in your practice sessions, you're not playing something where you can play the way you want to play, when do you think you're going to develop those habits? And I think that's kind of the point I'm trying to get across that I wanted to share is, if there's anything that you could take away from this video, I would encourage you to think about, is your practice resulting in evidence that you can do the thing you want to do? Because if not, at the bottom layer, it's gonna erode at your belief that you're capable of doing what you want. And if you stop believing that you're capable of doing it, you're gonna stop doing the kind of work that's necessary. It's gonna be hard for you to be motivated to be the person who will do that work, and it's far less likely to happen. And so I come across people who are low on belief that things are possible, and the first thing I want to do is get them on an organized routine and show them there are places where you can play beautifully right now. Let's start there. Let's learn how you're doing it so that we can learn how to stretch into things that are more difficult so you can be more successful in the long run. So that's what I wanted to share in this video. I hope it made sense. I really feel strongly that this is something that has transformed my trumpet playing, and it has really helped people that I've worked with also transform their playing by driving so much more consistency and confidence and belief that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish. So that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one.